This event brings me so much nostalgia because I believe this event is the one that started the trend of ZTL does not know how to pronounce things and does especially not know how to spell things, because I think I misspelled Akihabara in the thumbnail and I got absolutely flamed in the comments. That is absolutely good times. But yes, this is going to be my Akihabara event guide. Do not worry, I know a lot of NA players are really stressing out about this event, but it's really not all that difficult. Like, I've been saying that for like the past month or two on like live streams and in just other videos like here and there, but trust me, this event is not all that difficult as long as you kind of manage your time, and even if you don't have a lot of servants, you can get through this event, like I believe completely free to play, using even level 1 and like very low leveled servants. Just because as long as you kind of manage your time, you can get through a lot of these very easy nodes. It's just like there's a lot of content to chew through, but it's not all that difficult. So we're going to talk about this event and more in today's video. If you enjoy daily FGO content, make sure you like and subscribe to the channel for staying up to date on all these videos that I throw out there. And if you want to see me play FGO live, I do that every weekday at 6 p.m. Eastern Standard Time over on my Twitch, which is in the description down below. But let's go ahead and just start diving into this event. So what is the main gimmick of this event? Well, if you are uninitiated, basically what you're going to be doing is you're just going to be running through these different floors. You're going to be running up through 200 floors in this event, fighting these like kind of random nodes over here, and then every like 10 nodes ish you'll like unlock like a story chapter. There's also like these special restrictive chapters where it's like, oh, use only like male servants or only use evil alignment servants that unlock, I believe, like every 10 chapters after 5. I'll show you guys that in just a second, but it's really not all that difficult. But once you use a servant, and this is where people get a little bit worrisome about the event, they go on a cooldown. You can't just immediately be like, oh, yep, I'm going to spam Gilgamesh for all of this right here. I'm just going to spam Arjuna Altar through floors 11 through 19. You got to put them on cooldown. Now, thankfully for this event, I believe you have like a couple different avenues. If we look over here in the resting area, you have all these different areas where you could put your servants to reduce that cooldown and to kind of get them back online faster, which is also why I say it's not that hard as long as you kind of manage your time. And you have a decent chunk of time here. I mean, obviously, I don't think these are the official dates because I believe we're getting Akihabara a week before Japan originally got it. So, but just take this as like a frame of time that the event's going to be live, not the actual date because it's going to be going live on Friday. But make sure you just actually manage using your servants, right? And make sure you try to use every servant you have available, because you'll be surprised how far some of these weird jank team comps can really get, even with like some level 1 servants, because that's kind of been a strategy for other people in a lot of these other tower events, is that if you don't have everybody absolutely leveled, you might be able to go the distance and get a couple of extra nodes cleared if you got like, I don't know, your George and like your level 35 Lancelot, right? You might just be able to do enough just bonking people with his stick, right? You might just be able to get through the finish line just with that team comp alone. So it's really more about time management, I feel, over anything else. As long as you're managing your time, you will absolutely be able to get through this event quick, fast, and well, not quick, fast, and in a hurry, but you'll be able to smoothly move through the event, I suppose, because you got like 200 floors to do. But it really shouldn't be all that hard, and the rewards are quite nice. Like, if you're someone that's always really worried about like bonding up your servants, you get a couple of these, which are really, really nice. If you don't know what they are and you haven't used them yet, basically what these are is whenever you get a servant to bond 10, you can kind of limit break their bond and unlock their next bond stage. So if they're at bond 10, they can go to bond 11, and when you get to the bond 11, you get 30 Saint Quartz, right? And then it keeps going on, like when it's like, oh, once they're finished with bond 11, you can do it for 12, and then 12 gives you 30 Saint Quartz, and yada yada, right? That goes up to bond 15. So that's really nice. These are usually only available in the rare prism shop for, I believe, what is it, like 3 rare prisms a month. Speaking of, you also get some of those in here. I know I've been getting asked in particular, I don't know why around this time, but just in particular, I've been asking a lot of like, oh, how do you get rare prisms? And besides selling your SR or SSR servants, which please do not sell your SSR servants for rare prisms. Don't do that. That's a PSA. But aside from doing that, you really just got to wait for like certain login bonuses where it's like log in 3 days in a row for this event and you get a rare prism. So the fact that this one is going to be giving you 3 is pretty nice. That could be really nice if you don't have your extra copies of BB, or if you're going to be wanting to get your copies of Santa Altera or whoever else you decide to add going forward in the future. It's just a very nice lineup of stuff that you're able to get. The event CE, I don't think is the craziest thing, but I think it's very nice that everybody should have a starting like CE bomb CE, because these are just very nice, very specific setups like for boss fights and whatnot. And if you've missed some of the other ones, like let's say you don't have Golden Catches the Carp, or you don't have the one from the Oku event, this could be another one that's pretty decent, right? It's not bad. It's not the worst one on the market. You know, being able to get 15% Buster and 50% crit. I'm a little sad that it's a split CE over here. You know, it's not giving you full attack, so you can get 2,000 attack if you wanted to max limit break it and then max level it. It's a little bit unfortunate because I believe that 2,000 attack goes way farther than just an extra 2,000 HP. But again, still some pretty nice rewards just for like completing things, right? Just for completing things, just completing the whole like ladder, quote unquote, here, if you want to call it that. But let's actually talk about some of the other rewards that you're going to be able to get. So here are like the specific quests where this might be the only thing that might be a little more difficult for newer accounts, because a lot of these have restrictions on them. Like, let's say you don't have any good particular male servants, right? Like, you've got maybe Waver, but you don't really have anybody good leveled. This might be one of those times where you start leveling up guys, and coincidentally, they do give you EXP cards pretty early on in the event, so maybe you need to level up a couple of little guys to get through some of this stuff. But as you can see, yeah, they start unlocking like starting at number 5 and then every 10 after that. So that's kind of nice, but you can see that like, yeah, some of them can get a little restrictive where it's like, if you don't have like decent saber guys, you may struggle a little bit on this one. But to be fair, it's also not really all that difficult. You can see that the enemies are kind of just like normal free quest difficulty, so it shouldn't really be all that difficult to clear if you could just kind of level up some of your free-to-play guys. Or maybe you got really lucky and you're like, oh, I have an Artoria that I've never leveled. Well, maybe now is the time to go ahead and level her so she can just absolutely curse smack this node and obliterate them, right? It's really not all that difficult of an event as long as you're able to kind of manage your time and you're just kind of going through and clearing these. Even the AP is not all that much for these quests over here. Like, these bonus quests are like 10 AP over here, and the floor ones, look at this, 1 AP. It's like you can get through a lot of this and then just kind of shove all of your servants in the resting area, come back a couple hours later, or even just the next day, and keep kind of chewing through some of the stuff, as long as you are just moving at somewhat of a regular pace. As long as you're kind of moving, you'll get through without any pain. Now, the thing that some people might care about a bit more than the actual event itself, because I personally really like the tower events. I think they're very fun to kind of bring out weird team comps and explore what you can kind of do. Even though it's not all that difficult, I just find it fun. But Galatea is going to be coming out. Now, Galatea, for those that don't know, she's pretty good. Expect a video on her tomorrow, and then I'll probably do a comparison video between her and Vlad, because they have a very, very similar role. But if you look at Galatea, she's not a limited servant. She goes into the regular servant gacha. So as good as I think she is, I feel like you can kind of just wait for this servant to come to you at some point, or try to hit her on a different rate up, because she's not unlimited, right? Next month you should have like Miss Crane coming out, who is more of a limited servant, and then following that we should start moving into Lost Belt 6 stuff, which again features a lot of limited servants. I don't think going for her specifically is the greatest idea, although when she came out on JP, I summoned for her and I have not regretted it. So if you do want to go for her, you'll get your quote-unquote quartz worth out of it. She is very good, I found, even at NP1. Now, what might be a little bit more tantalizing for some people is going to be Nero Bride over here, because she is a limited servant and she does get her buff over here on her second skill. Oh, nope, it's not the second skill, it's the third skill. My bad. But she gets her buff over here where she's actually going to be getting an increased damage against Sky Attribute enemies, and it makes her a very interesting support type servant for like quick and art setups, because she is giving this fat NP gain buff that, after the buff we already have, gives a 30% battery. She gives you a really solid attack buff, and then she can also provide a nice special damage mod. And Sky Attribute guys, I mean, this ain't bad. It's not the most expansive thing for servants, but these aren't uncommon enemies that you'll be fighting. So this can make her a very interesting either like plug suit option for like some arts quick setups, because you know, arts and quick servants both absolutely love getting a little bit of an extra NP gauge, but more importantly, absolutely love the NP gain over here. They love the extra attack they'll be getting, and then it might make her a little bit interesting for that. I still don't say like she's like worth going for, like you absolutely gotta summon for Nero Bride, but it does make her a very interesting choice. Makes her a little bit tantalizing to go for. So I can understand some people wanting to go for her, because she becomes very interesting at that point. Like, it's like, you could do some really cool stuff with Nero Bride if you see that, like, some of those specific sky attribute enemies are going to be on the node that you're going to be farming, or if you know there's going to be a challenge quest and you really want to body this sky attribute enemy, it can make her very interesting for that as well. And that's kind of what you see over here. So if you have Nero Bride, enjoy getting to do this rank up quest over here. Get your extra Saint Quartz, maybe you hit that 10th milestone and get an extra 10 Saint Quartz. That could be really nice. But yeah, that's really all there is to this event, because we have the pre-release campaign right now, and I already made a video talking about this banner. Don't summon on this thing. Bad banner. Don't summon on it. But yeah, that's really about it when it comes to this event. It's not all that hard as long as you kind of manage your time. Even if you are a newer player, the thing you might struggle with the most are, again, these quests over here, because maybe you just don't have the specific guys leveled, because all of these should be doable free to play, right? You should be able to knock all of these out. It's just, if you don't have the guys leveled, it might be a little bit more difficult, but most of them shouldn't be that hard. Like male, female, those are a bit easier. Like just having some assassins, some riders should be able to kind of get through to the finish line on this one. What the Berserker one down here is a bit more forgiving, because you have some pretty good like Berserker options that can kind of get through this early on. Pull out my boy Spartacus and let him cook. But yeah, with all that being said, I'm going to go ahead and get out of here. You guys have yourself a nice day. Peace, late guys.